you ever struggle with pricing yourself?
I did. I did early on because and when I first got started, I didn't understand it. But it wasn't until I had a mentor at a time tell me what that was like. And when I really started doing the research and seeing, because I was new, what I needed to, where I needed to start, and starting there, then moving forward, I then realized what I could charge and it not be quote unquote unreasonable. I had, like I said, early on, I'm like, I don't think I could get paid for this. I don't think I don't think I'm worth this much. But it wasn't until I was paid double that amount, I'm like, oh, well, maybe I can. And I didn't go crazy with it, like, hey, I'm gonna do double, triple, quadruple.
You ever send out a proposal and say, all right, let's see what happens with this?
I have. I'm not even gonna lie. I'll be totally honest. I have. But when it came through, I'm like, yo. But what it taught me was, again, doing the research and listening, really understanding. Like, I'm big on knowing my clients, like knowing their budget, knowing what value they want.
Do you ask them their budget?
Yeah. A lot of times especially if it's one that I don't know, because I want to understand again their budget, but also the value proposition. Like, what do they really need? I used to be scared. I'll be honest with you. I'll be totally honest with y'all that are watching. I was scared to ask about budgets. I was scared about that because then they're gonna like, oh, well, he asking about money. He's just about money. But I needed to know where they were so that I could properly give them something based on my value. Yeah. If you're a nonprofit that just started yesterday, you really have no money, but you're really doing something for the kids, and I can really do something. Then for me, I'm like, you know what? I got this one. Yeah. I can't do the same for a large Fortune 500 corporation because I know you got money.
Right.
And I know where, and if I've done my research properly, I know where your revenues come from. I know who's got what budget, what department's got more budget than this, and understand that. When I know that, then it's easier for me to say, hey, this is my rate. And I'm basing it on the research that I've done or who I've talked to dealing with this budget. And if I don't know, I'm like, well, hey, this is your department. What is your department set up on? What budgets are they setting up on? And where are your revenues coming from? And once I know that, it's like, oh, okay. Well, based on what you just told me, again, key word, what you just told me, here's my price point.
I always stay away from that because, like you said, I don't want people to think that I'm here for that.
Yeah.
But really, I want to know if you're doing this, then I can give you all of this. Mm-hmm. But if this is your budget, first of all, I don't even know if I want to mess with you.
Right.
And then, well, this is what you get for that budget. Yeah. So I try to avoid that. Mm-hmm. But it's just like, you gotta know.
You do have to know, and it gives you an advantage to where you're not going to, because I will say some people I've heard that they'll really take advantage of it. Yeah. Or they'll quote unquote price themselves out because they didn't do the research. I do my best to be, along the industry standard of whatever industry I'm speaking in, and of course within the speaking realm as it is, but really again understanding the value that I'm trying to bring. So if it's just a 20-minute thing with a few people, it's not going to be the same if I'm going to be speaking at Bank of America Stadium for a whole hour. Those price points are totally different. The monies.
What's the biggest crowd you ever had?
I think the biggest crowd that I've had so far is 300 at an educational conference, and that was so much fun. I think it was like 300 to 500 because it was a conference of educators, but that was a blast. Just a lot of energy, a lot of them getting up, moving around.